Good morning. It's a pleasure for me to be in Tallinn and speak about our report, position of digital industry in CEE region. Today, I would like to say a few words about our report, our conclusions from our report about the impact of ICT sector on economies in CEE countries. The report was prepared by PwC together with us as a CCDCOE coalition. And first of all, few words: who are we and why we are interested in industry in this region, and what is the role of ICT sector in our economies across the region. We are an informal group of NTAs, national trade organizations, from all countries across whole CEE region, from Croatia, Slovenia, Romania, Bulgaria, Czechia, Hungary, Slovakia, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, and Ukraine and Moldova. And last 4 years, we're trying to build a strong one voice of digital industry in this region. We are trying to build some kind of think tank supporting for our governments to build a common understanding our needs in this region, to build a strong voice of our region in public discussion in Europe about all the most important, more crucial regulations on the global digital market. This year, we prepared our annual report about impact of ICT sector on our economies, and we tried to focus on 3 most important technologies, which will be crucial for our region in the next few years. And one of these technologies for sure was cybersecurity. Absolutely, it's obvious that this is right now one of the hottest topics in whole Europe. Especially in our region, especially in Poland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, we are absolutely the first countries on the front line, frankly speaking. So we have a big experience in this area. But first, 3 numbers, which is 1 very bad and 2 very good numbers from our report. First, good number. Wrong number, is a DESI index, and position of our countries from CEE region in DESI index in Europe. And definitely we are lower than we would like to be in this DESI index. As you can see, only, frankly speaking, Estonia, Slovenia, and Lithuania is over the EU average. Rest of our countries in the region is above, and for sure we have to speed up in this digital transformation. And 2 very good numbers from our report. First, the share of employment in ICT sector in our part of Europe is on a higher level than in Western Europe. And second very good number is the number of enterprises in ICT sector per 1,000 inhabitants in our CEE region is more than Western Europe. Why? Our young people, young engineers, are very open and very open for new opportunities, to creating new businesses, new products, new solutions in digital era. Why? Why we are on such good position if we are talking about new companies in this area? First, we have increasing research and development efforts in our region, in all countries in this region. The development of digital infrastructure, we have a new one, frankly speaking, than Western Europe. So we have a huge potential in this area. Third point, growing number of investments in IT sector, private investments and public investments, and economic stability in CEE countries. This is 4, in my opinion, the most important points in this issue. But we have a lot of challenges right now in the region, and few of them. First, further investment in digital infrastructure. Of course, we have quite new infrastructure, but for sure we have to prepare much more investments in this area to keep our development in this sector. Raising awareness of the digital economy. This is an absolutely crucial thing, that we have to build understanding What for? We need investments in digital technology, digital transformation. Conscious absorption of emerging tools and technologies across whole economy, from the public sector till the smallest companies right now. And addressing the shortage of the skilled ICT specialists is an absolutely huge problem in whole Europe, in our region especially. Absolutely, we need much more people to work in the ICT sector than today. And we have to create common tools, common solutions, how to prepare our region to this problem. And last but not least, closer cooperation between all CEE countries. This is a crucial role of our coalition, to build awareness that we need a very strong common voice of our region in discussion in Brussels to explain what is our needs, our business as a region in the European level. Cybersecurity, as I mentioned before, this is absolutely crucial topic right now for whole region, for whole Europe. There you have see a few numbers from the Estonian market. Last year, over 3,300 cyber incidents with an impact in 2023. In Poland, for example, right now, every week we have noticed over 1,000 incidents every week, over 1,000. So this is absolutely crucial thing to prepare our infrastructure, our economies, our society to this huge risk around this. Sharp increase in cyber fraud, inflicting financial damages at least 8.5 million only in Slovenia. So you can notice that this is a huge problem for whole region, and we have to find a common solutions how to prepare our region, our Europe, to cybersecurity threats. What is the very good information from our report? That cybersecurity is a crucial topic for administration, for small companies and from big companies across the region. So this is a really very high level of understanding that cybersecurity is crucial for our development. Of course, next year, next few years, the level of awareness, level of understanding of cybersecurity will still increasing in our region. What is the crucial for us in this area? That next few years, spending by companies and public institutions in Europe will increase by over 20% per year. So this is the best evidence that we, in whole Europe, we are on a very good level of understanding that cybersecurity is right now crucial for us, and we have to invest in this area as soon as possible and to prepare our economy, our society to this new situation. This is the two evidences that from the administration on the European level and CEE regional level, the cybersecurity is crucial. First, it's from the Brussels level, Ursula von der Leyen and her words, absolutely she understood that cybersecurity and digital transformation for Europe is crucial to keep Europe in on the top positions on the global market in actual economy. And for CEE region, this is absolutely crucial evidence that even in the Free CEE Initiative summit in Vilnius this year, cybersecurity, digital transformation was one of the three most important topics for this region. So you can notice that for everybody, cybersecurity, digital transformation for this region is crucial right now. But what is the crucial few points from our side, from our report for the future in this area? Shortage of experts and specialists in the field of cybersecurity, as I mentioned, this is in my opinion, the biggest problem for our region, how to prepare IT specialists to this challenge. Need for even closer cooperation and coordination between the public and private sector. Only with this private-public partnership, we can build a strong digital industry in this region. Given the growing threat, cybersecurity should be considered an overarching priority for the state and the entire economy, not just the telecommunications sector. Cybersecurity transformation is crucial for whole economy, not only for one or second sector in our country. Standards and expectations should be clear and as high as possible. Existing frameworks should serve as universally recognized foundation for development, and implementation of key cybersecurity regulations, for example, NIS2, should be achieved fast, but with sufficient caution. Of course, we can talk a lot of reports, not only cybersecurity, but two more crucial technologies from our report for this region is cloud and AI. Of course, you can find at this link a full report. We are open for any comments, any questions, any suggestions to this report. So please feel free. But now I would like to invite my special guest, and we will discuss about the cybersecurity in this region in Europe. What is the challenges? What is the opportunity? So let me invite on the stage Doris Põld, CEO of ITL Estonia, Vice President of Digital Europe. Doris. Edgars Kiukucāns, Director of the Cybersecurity Policy Department, Ministry of Defense, Latvia. And last but not least, Otakar, Horák, National Cyber and Information Security Agency, Czechia. Please welcome. So, of course, we fully agree, probably, that cybersecurity is crucial and one of the most important priority for our region. But let me start from the more general question to Doris. Doris, in your opinion, what is the level of understanding that cybersecurity is absolutely crucial for our region, for Europe, to prepare our economies across the whole continent to new challenges in different technologies? What is the level of this awareness across Europe? And what is the role of war in Ukraine in this process of building this awareness across Europe? How we used this 1,000th day of war in Ukraine in this area in Europe, especially in our region, because we are on the first line of front.
Okay. I will not give the level like from 1 to 10 to you, but of course you can see how this growing threats environment where we are, how it have also been translated into the growth of the cybersecurity sector. I can see it very clearly, at least in Estonia, and I believe also in our region and in Europe, that we have more and more cybersecurity companies in one hand, and more also the awareness about it, and public sector, private sector, they speak about the plans, they do not only speak, but also doing plans and thinking about how to build up this resilience, which is very important for that. So definitely all what is going on right now geopolitically, it's have grown the importance of cybersecurity hugely.
Doris, 2 weeks ago, you were in Poland during our annual meeting of Digital Europe, and we were talking with Polish Minister of Digital Affairs about Polish presidency, and of course, cybersecurity is one of the digital priority for our government during our presidency. What do you think this Polish point of view on cybersecurity in Europe during our presidency is going in a good direction, or maybe we would advise some changes in this point of view on this topic?
I'm not sure that it's the right time already to start to change the total Polish presidency part. But if I may say that, let's say that secure Europe and integrated Europe should be the main points in my thinking. And with that, I mean that in many cases, when we speak about critical technologies or when we speak about a single market, then we need to invest there together and deal with these kind of issues together. And regarding the critical technologies like the cyber or AI space, there we have to ensure that we have in our region capabilities to deal with that we are not so much dependent from the other regions. I think this is something which is for having this kind of secure Europe or connected what we need.
For sure, to this topic about single market in cybersecurity, we will come back during our discussion. But I would like to back to war in Ukraine, and Edgars, the question to you about these experiences from Ukraine case for our countries in this region, for Europe. In your opinion, are we, after this over 2 years of war, we are more prepared, better prepared to these threats? Did we learn something from Ukrainian experiences? And are we ready to use this knowledge, these experiences in our region? Or we still need some more what?
Yeah, well, the short answer would be absolutely. We have learned a lot, and I think that the situation, as bad as it is, but it has helped us to raise the awareness on cybersecurity. Because first of all, I think before the war, we were in a bit, most of the companies and also institutions, they were a bit in a feeling that, this doesn't concern me. This is for some big companies, for defense and security institutions, that they will have to care about that. But I think as soon as the war started, and in 2022, the ENISA report showed that Latvia, for example, was number 2 in number of incidents that were caused by Russian actors. So and Poland was number 1. So it just shows how much we actually suffered from that. And I think this situation just actually from one side, it helped us to build our own capabilities. I think if we compare what we had in Latvia, what type of services, and we had already quite a lot, and what we have now, what we are offering to different companies, to different state institutions, that is much, much more than it was before. And second aspect is that the awareness part. Because, as I said before, I think institutions and companies, they were not so concerned about cybersecurity. Now, we saw after the war that, first of all, there's a huge interest about cybersecurity solutions, about what the organizations, what they can do about their own security. The seminars that we have organized for both the public and private institutions, they have been very popular. There has been a lot of interest. Thousands of, say, people have been participating in those. And then the third and final part is that also from the legislative part, there's a lot of progress. There's NIS2, there are upcoming cybersecurity acts in all over the Europe that require more and stricter approach from different organizations towards cybersecurity.
You mentioned about legislation, so it's my favorite topic if we are talking about Europe, frankly speaking. So, Otakar, maybe a question to you about this legislation, regulations. I mentioned in my presentation NIS2, 5G toolbox, but in general, what do you think? Where are we about regulations around cybersecurity issue? Is it possible to build some common strategies across the region, common, maybe similar, maybe not common, but similar strategies in cybersecurity area? Because in my opinion, if we don't have a minimum similar strategy across the region, so this region is not safe, because even one country without or with completely different strategy in cybersecurity is unfortunately door for our enemies. It could be doors for our enemies. So where are we in this regulations process? In your opinion, do we need some extra regulations in this area? And what to do, how to prepare, especially SMEs, because they need much more money for implementation, for preparing their organizations to cybersecurity threats based on new regulations. And what do you think about this understanding that cybersecurity is not only for telecommunications, but across whole economy?
Yeah. Well, actually, I think it has been mentioned during a couple of the panels here that the industry actually feels that the Europe is over-regulated, and that's the thing that Europe is good at, right? Like we know how to regulate. Like the US can learn from us that the idea is not even out there, and Europe already has its provision how to regulate the new thing that is incoming. And basically, in the last years, we saw like a thunderstorm of EU regulation in this area, and different regulations still have cyber effects or are dealing with cybersecurity, even though it's not just NIS2, there is DORA, Cyber Resilience Act, and so on. So I actually have the knowledge that there was already initiative by a couple of states to appeal to the Commission to calm down a little bit with this thunderstorm and to have some transitional period with all the incoming regulations. The new setup after the European elections is actually helping with that. That now the new Parliament members and members of the Commission they just need to get their bearings and see what needs to be done or what could be done and start some of these processes anew. So we are at a very delicate time where actually we can take a step back and maybe look at the regulations that were put in place to see what it means and what is the reason for it, because that's maybe what's sometimes missing in the discussions, because EU is not making these regulations just to make the life harder for the industry, because EU is about it's the economic union, and so the main point of this regulation is to help the economic progress and economic development, and that's why these regulations are put in place, to have some common backline to actually fall back to have some understanding in the whole of Europe to what we are expecting from similar institutions, entities all across the Europe. So I think this idea needs to be maybe more clearly communicated to the sector, to the parties that are in play, to actually realize that what we are trying to do is to move at the pace of the slowest one. That's what the regulation is there for. That we know that the companies that are very diligent are probably have their cybersecurity solved, but there are some that are still handling quite important data or quite important services. And if they are not forced to do something, they might not be doing it. And then when we have the companies that actually can help with this, put in place the measures to ensure the cybersecurity, then again, the whole EU regulation could help them to understand what is the threshold that they need to achieve to actually spread their business region-wise and so on.
For sure, I have to mention that for Polish government in our presidency, one of the priority will be the building of a new way of thinking about regulations on the European level. So more focus on impact of new regulations on market, especially for SMEs. And let's first check what is the results of last huge numbers of regulations, especially in digital area, on market, on SMEs, on European companies. And then, after the checking process, let's decide what we have to do more or less, or how to correct some regulations from last years, because the numbers have absolutely increased because it's only about 90 regulations and almost 200 institutions across the whole Europe around it. So, but Doris, you would like to add something?
I just listening to you, and then totally wanted also to echo there, or you said that if you know something good or know how to do it, it's the regulative part. Because just to give a very clear example, turning past 5 years, in the US, they did it was 5,500 different regulations, all kind of regulations, stuff, what they did. What do you think what is the same number in Europe in this, during the past 5 years? It's 13,000 different regulations. And then imagine that your company in Europe. And that is the reason why, for example, 30% of the unicorns, European unicorns, have left from Europe with their offices. So it is like, let's say, as you mentioned 2 weeks ago when I met also with the Polish minister, then I challenged him and said that, what do you think, can you be the first Polish presidency who doesn't do any regulation, that doesn't come out turning your presidency with any new regulation? Yeah, you can imagine the answer.
Frankly speaking, I can't imagine, because minimum the customs codex will be probably on the table. So, but let's try. I would like to ask you about 2 topics which, in my opinion, are crucial in building this awareness, but general cybersecurity levels of cybersecurity across the region. I mean money, because without money we can't build anything, and this private-public partnership in this area, because on this topic there is no any public administration which is ready for all threats, and without private sector it's impossible to prepare economy. So what about money? In your opinion, do we have in Europe problems with spending money on cybersecurity? Do we need some extra solutions, extra tools for stimulations, more investments in cybersecurity, and how to do it? Some pan-European investment fund, or maybe some tax regulations for stimulating, especially SMEs for spending money on cybersecurity. But generally, where are we if we're talking about money, about investments on cybersecurity solutions in Europe? Any voluntaries?
Okay, there was like so many questions together. Yeah, first thing I think of course we need more investments into technology overall, and we can, I think when we speak about the technology in the future world, we have to speak like secure by default. So it means that what I would like to see that with any kind of funding what we do in the EU in the future, let's say there will be always obligatory amount what have to go into the technologies and into security. I don't know, for example, 25%, if I have to say something, that always into technology and together with the security. You can't look technology and cybersecurity like separately, I think. It's the one coin, 2 sides, but it's a secure by default. I think this should be something with, like mandatory.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I just wanted also to touch upon the investments, because just before this panel also I looked into the statistics in the EU, how much we invest in R&D, and specifically at this region. And I think almost all of this region forms the bottom part of the R&D investment in the EU, and I think that's the first problem. The second, of course, the reasoning probably there behind is that this region has not yet reached the average EU GDP per capita. That's also, I think, one of the reasons that with more wealth also the R&D investment comes, and that hopefully will also come in the future when we reach also this region reaches the EU average. But I think here what is a good instrument, what can be used, of course, is always the EU funding, like for example the Digital Europe program. But if we want to use it effectively, we have to also make it attractive to those who are applying. And I have talked with quite many companies in Latvia about why they're not actually submitting their proposals, project proposals to the program. And mostly it's because of the bureaucracy, because it takes a lot of time. And at the end, for example, for the cybersecurity part in Digital Europe, it's only 50% of the co-funding by the EU, which means that the projects are not big. It's not possible to make an impact that would add value. And in addition to that, it's quite a lot of bureaucracy that comes together with this funding.
You mentioned about this money from the public sector. Of course, we have no government in Europe with enough money in the national budget to spend on all cybersecurity solutions. So it's crucial to build this private-public partnership. But where are we with understanding that we need this private-public partnership in area of cybersecurity? Because sometimes I feel that some governments are afraid this partnership with private sector. That the cybersecurity, if we are talking about especially defense, is absolutely only for public sector. What do you think? Is it possible to build this absolutely across the region, across the Europe, totally open, clear private partnership in area of cybersecurity?
Well, if I can continue, yeah,
sure.
I think it is possible, and I think the mindset is slowly changing as well. Of course, as you said before, the security in general has always, at least so far, has been the prerogative, let's say so, of the government, and that's why the change is happening, I would say, quite slowly. But I think at some point, we will have no other choice, because there is a lot of work to do in cybersecurity. There's a lot of things that we have to do that actually require a lot of workforce, and you cannot, at some point, you just cannot, grow the public sector in terms of ensuring these services to all the companies, to all the subjects of NIS2. It's just not possible. At some point, of course, you'll have to have more of these functions that are, so far has been looked as the state functions. You will have to outsource them, and there the partnership comes in. And I think the other aspect, of course, of the partnership is not only that, is also the discussion. It's ensuring that when you come up with legislation, strategies, you involve the private sector. So I think, for example, you just need to create some kind of a trusted community, which I think, again, EU is helping in this, because there's a regulation that requires that every member state create such a community, which we have done as well, and I think it has actually paid off, because it's quite active in Latvia. They are involved in legislation. Of course, not always we can take everything what they say, but we try as much as possible. So yeah.
Otakar, the question.
Just before we escape the funding question
Sure.
or topic, that was also what I would echo, that there is this initiative to build this community focused on research and development, mandated by the EU with the European Cyber Competence Center, that then should help the states to create their own national competency centers, and with that actually help to work with those programs such as Digital Europe and help them to navigate the bureaucracy that is needed to come close to the funding needed. So this is actually quite a nice initiative, I think, that's working really well in Czech Republic as well. At least the interest of the private sector is there, and it helps to get to the point of contact from for the private sector with the public sector, and know that this part of the public sector can actually help them with that, and also that through this initiative, some strategy in the direction of the innovation can be achieved and taken into account, because just being innovative for the fun of it that we want to isn't probably going to help us, and those funds need to be spent effectively for what the states and EU actually needs. So this strategy needs to be in place, and this should help with it.
Thanks, Doris.
I have to say that I think in a moment when we start to speak about public sector cybersecurity and private sector cybersecurity separately, we are lost.
Exactly.
We're losing then the game for the cyber attacks. And we have to be very clear here that private sector is actually day by day in the front line in the cybersecurity. And when we speak about technology sector, then they are the one also who have to ensure the cybersecurity of other economical sectors. So whole economy is dependent from that, or the infrastructure companies. And so we can't look separately, public sector, cybersecurity, and private sector.
Okay, Doris, but how convince these, especially small companies across Europe, to spend more money for cybersecurity tools if they have no money for new investments? And frankly speaking, for these smallest companies, spending money on cybersecurity is a cost, not investment. What to do? How to convince them to change this point of view on spending money on cybersecurity?
I think it's, first of all, of course, it's a total awareness raising. This is about the awareness raising part. It's one thing. The other part is to show it. Yeah, I know they speak about it like a cost, but not a cost, but actually stay alive. It's the thing how to stay alive in modern world. And I think it's a lot to do also the technology companies that I'm as an IT sector representative, I have to be honest when we speak with other economical sector that when we bring the digital technologies into your company, we also bring the trouble. And this is the security part there. And we have to then always, when we do things, we do only in certain security level. That security by default. This is also that we have to take the responsibility as a private sector towards the other economical sectors, I think.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have regulations, even too much, but maybe we will have better soon. We will have more money. So I think that we need one more thing, specialist. What to do, how to minimize this lack of IT specialists in our region, especially in cybersecurity sector. It's because I'm afraid that it's impossible to change the situation only country by country. We need some regional program to increase numbers of IT specialists. But do you have any suggestions for governments across the region? How to do it? Otakar.
Yeah, it's a very, very difficult question, and probably there is no solution that would be right on hand and that would help right away. What I feel is the correct practice is to promote the part of women in this sector, to help them and actually involve them in everything that is being done. And also with the government, what we can do is to nurture the employees that we have for the time that we have them, because they will escape the government sector at some point for the big bucks. And it's just so important to stay connected within the community and to stay in touch even when they are in the private sector, still with the government, with their former colleagues, and this actually helps to build the community that then can kind of trickle down through the institutions where they then will be taking their part. And yeah, this can actually help again to bring the trust and help to nurture the trust between the government and the private sector, because as you said, like it needs to be common effort and it needs to be worked together.
We have unfortunately 4 minutes, 4.5, so maybe unfortunately we have to summarize. And I have the last question to all of you about future. Based on our experiences right now, based on your knowledge, where are we, what do you have, what will we have in the future, in the next 5-10 years, in your opinion, where are we in cybersecurity issues as a region, as a Europe? In better position or not? Could we be more positive in this area, or rather we have to be more skeptic? Doris, can you be first?
Okay, so
let's be futurologic.
My optimistic side have to say that we are in better position. Otherwise, I can't do this job what I do if I'm not believing that part. I have to believe that actually now all the reports what are brought out to Draghi, Letta, and so on, that what brings out all this kind of pain points, that we now really start to move towards the actions, and that we understand that the critical technologies are something what are really critical and have to be in place, have to be here in the region, and we have to invest into those. And so I have to believe that we are in a better position with that.
But you have to believe or believe?
Okay, then let's say in this way that I believe. And of course, when I see, I will be very happy. And regarding all this over-regulations, a topic would have been that at least I take my mission to pinpoint it always and to see that are we managing to cut this over-regulation habit.
Okay, Edgars.
Yeah, well, looking at my tarot cards in the morning, I think two things. One, I think we're going to be safer. I think we're going to be better prepared because we have no other choice. This region is the front line of let's say, cyber wars, malicious cyber activities, and we just, there's no other way. We have to prepare ourselves every day for even worse and worse and worse. So because of that, I think we're just developing our capabilities more and more. The other thing, I think that we will be more automated in many things that we do, and I hope that will at least partly help the workforce issue, because of course the AI solutions, they are one of the advantages is, of course, that you probably need a little less human hands there. But I hope that these things too will actually be true in 5-10 years. I'm also optimist. I have to be, and I am. So yeah, I will stop here.
Okay.
Yeah, my optimism stems from one part is the history of this region. Actually, we dealt with difficult situations, difficult times in our common history. So that's actually, or what we gained from it is the ability to improvise quite a bit. And with this ability, I think this region can achieve quite a lot in this area, especially when facing the difficulties of workforce insufficiency and some constraints on the money front and so on. So yeah, I have hopes for our region.
So I would like to add 2 points to your points of view. First, that we, in this whole region, whole Europe, frankly speaking, we know that we can't save money on defense, but I hope that we will agree across the Europe that we can save money on cybersecurity tools, that we have to absolutely spend much more money on this issue. And second thing, that absolutely we need very close cooperation between our countries, our governments, to build a common understanding, a common strong voice of our region. And I hope that you will be some kind of ambassadors of this way of thinking about our cooperation across the region. And the voice of the region in Brussels will be stronger, because I deeply believe that, yes, we can be and we will be more safe in the future, but definitely we can be and we should be the real digital hub for Europe. And we absolutely, based on our experiences, even in Ukraine, absolutely we can be leader in Europe, but to reach this goal we need much deeper cooperation between our countries. I deeply believe that next year in Tallinn we can summarize the next 1 year for very fruitful cooperation in CEE region. Thank you very much. Doris, Põld, Otakar, excuse me, but my Czech and Latvian language is not so good. Otakar Horák.
Yes.
And Edgars Kiukucāns.
Close enough.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.